Thank you very much for being here with me. This is Davide Biocchi speaking, and here we go for my weekly intermarket analysis. Let's start as usual with the euro dollar, and let's say that it's really interesting to see that it is, let's say, very close to 1 month that the market is moving in a very thin, small sideways. So 1.01 here and 1.025 here are the two levels that are, let's say, pushing the market going into a sideway. Well, the more the market will remain in this sideway, the more it will be strong variation that we will see, then it will be able to exit. Maybe up, in this case we have 1.037 as a first resistance, maybe down where we have the parity as the main support. So let's see what is going to happen, and simply let's focus on the fact that in this sideway it's very difficult to trade because we have today a green candle, tomorrow denied by a red one, and so going through every other day. But when the market will exit one of the two ways, we will see some real good and interesting trend. I hope it will happen very soon. Let's switch immediately after to commodities like the gold and like the crude oil. So for what concerning the gold, we have seen a rebound from the price of 1,780. That is not a resistance, but the resistance that we have always seen after the COVID. So this 1,680 is a price where, since that moment and until now, the market always recovered when it touched that level. And also it happened recently, as we can see here, and the market was very fast to reach this level of resistance that is around 1,815. This is, let's say, a quite high density area that work until the price of 1,880. So more or less, we could expect also the price to reach the level up there. But in the meanwhile, we could expect also to see, let's say, a more complicated sideway, despite we have seen recently a very fast movement. So let's see what is going to happen. This chart seems to be very interesting. Another interesting movement was the one connected with crude oil. The crude oil was able to go below the support of 95 and also below the support of 90. And to me, the direction is 85 and then 75 as main support that we could see outside there. There's also a reason. Imagine that if we will have an economy that will slow down in the second part of the year, for sure also the oil prices will go below this, let's say, levels that we have been familiar with since months. And this is happening because this also happened to the copper, this also happened to the silver, and it did not happen to the oil, especially because we have a very strong producer organization that is very capable of, let's say, managing the situation connected to the price and making the market not to have a big impact in the price. But if there will be a general slowdown in global economy, for sure the price will go below this level, as we already shared. For what concerning the market, let's think that in Europe we have seen a quite interesting trend starting from the half of June. The market was able to grow up in a quite important way, and especially before, let's say, the ECB meeting, the market started rebounding and did not stop yet. So next step will be probably around 3,800, as we can see out there, even if the main and most relevant resistance that is on the path is the one around 4,000 that we could easily see here if we have a look. So it's really important, especially that we are some 370 points far from the, let's say, from the main support that is 3,400. That is very important not to go below that level. So this is something that is very clear if we look at what we are, let's say, what we have in the chart in Europe right now. For what concerning the US, for sure we have two different stories. So we have very strong market. This is first thing. and especially during the last week, if we before could say something like that we were into a session that was a lot of buying orders coming from short covering activity. We must say right now that the short covering activity could not on its own generate something like a rally like this one that we have seen recently. So in the very beginning, for sure, there was some short covering activity, but later some net buyers, entered the market for sure, and they now have reached a level that is the strongest resistance they can find on this path in short term. Later there will be another one, even more interesting, that is 4,300 on the S&P, but more or less they are around this level, and it's a very strong and robust level to go through. But the market could have a potential. Let's say that in this week we will have on Wednesday 2:30 the delivery of the data for what concerning the consumer price index in the USA, and that will have a great impact in the market. So let's see what is going to happen. It is mandatory to focus on that data this week, and I expect the market not to move a lot before that, but later to become very volatile. So let's see what is going to happen on Wednesday. On the other side, we have a Nasdaq that is showing us that the growth stocks are now again stronger than the value one. So we have a Nasdaq stronger than the S&P 500 and especially stronger than the Dow Jones, okay? And this is a reality because the S&P 500 is fighting for something that is more or less around this level, and the Nasdaq is probably trying to fight already with the next strong resistance. So let's see what is going to happen, and let's see if the market will be able to reach this level. Very interesting. As I told, we have to focus on Wednesday because of a CPI, and let's see what the market will tell us, and if, we will be told another interesting story about a recovery of the market, or if the bearish trend will come back again. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much for being here. This is Davide Biocchi from Italy. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.